been murdered. All the friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. And the bird said nevermore.
You're listening to the Call Podcast with Brandon and Josh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of The Call. It is a Baltimore Ravens podcast where we talk anything and everything Baltimore Ravens football. Thank you all for listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Player.fm, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. Well, the regular season is over. The Ravens went out with a bit of a whimper, but here we go. The Ravens are up against the Bengals. Wild card weekend, super wild card weekend is what they like to call it, and they're going to be up against the Bengals under the lights in Cincinnati on Sunday night. Joining me as always to talk all about it, my buddy Josh. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm great. It's playoff week. It's time to get fired up.
You're fired up. I'm saying.
You call. Well, let's back up.
Okay.
I told you I was gonna call you out on air.
Go for it.
Yeah. I was like, ready to start the podcast, ready to talk about it, and I'm like, yeah. And you're like, yeah, let's talk about this dumpster fire. And I'm like, oh, I see how you feel. So you think this is a dumpster fire now? I'm going to question that. What do you mean? Elaborate. Dumpster fire. Are you talking Lamar's situation? Are you talking the team holistically? What's this dumpster fire you speak of?
I think this dumpster fire is a big fire because the future seems very bright. You know, we can see down the road some possibilities of some good things happening. But right now, this week, I'm worried because we've got a lot of guys missing practice. Lamar's not playing. I mean, we're recording this on Thursday afternoon. He missed practice again today. Lamar's not playing, and it was up and down. You know, it was, they're very hopeful he's going to be playing. It's Lamar is doing this and doing that, and then Wednesday rolls around, and, it's an uphill battle. We don't know if he's going to play or not. Lamar's not playing. Lamar's done. I think this is the last we've seen of Lamar in a Ravens jersey. I said that when he got hurt. I don't think he's back next season unless they use the franchise tag, which they very well could. But I don't know. This just seems like an organization right now that is very disorganized. It seems like an organization that is spinning its wheels and they're just trying to get by. It is, let's get this playoff game out of the way so we can focus on next year.
Wow. The mighty elite front office, the well-run organization, well-respected organization, and you're just giving up just like that.
I'm not giving up. I will watch the game on Sunday. I'm not giving up. I think that they know that this is a lost season already. Like, we've got one game left.
We're going to do how is this a lost season? They're a playoff team. The Lions didn't even make the playoffs. They're a lost cause. And they finished above 500 for the first time in like forever. They might not be the best polished team out there, but look, the Dolphins, I feel like, are in a worse situation. Or the similar situation. I mean, obviously they're a worse seed than us, and we have a better record than they do. And I feel like that whole Dolphins loss is years ago. But I mean, look, it's interesting your take, man, because you're like, the Ravens fan base I feel is divided. It's like this week, you get the people that are like, I don't know if I'm going to watch the game. Yeah, it's like you said, there's no excitement, right? Now, I feel you. They limped into the playoffs, with 2 straight losses at the end of the year. Christmas Eve, they solidified the playoff berth with the win, and obviously coupled with what happened with the Patriots game and all that. Obviously the Steelers game got away from them 2 weeks ago, and then, with the uncertainty again with surrounding Lamar's situation, we'll get into that because there's a lot to unpack there. Huntley didn't play obviously in that game, and then JK sat out. So a few Ravens sat out, and obviously they took the loss in Cincinnati, and then fully knowing that probably going into the playoffs, if things remained as they stood, we're probably going to line up and see this team again a week later for the third time this year. And it so happens to be that Super Wildcard weekend. Out of all the games, there is 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 games, and 3 of them are divisional games. So 3 matchups include bout number 3 in each, including Ravens Bengals on Sunday night. By the way, speaking of, I was really surprised the Ravens got the Sunday night draw.
Me too.
I thought this sure would be a 1:00 Sunday kickoff.
As did I.
The Bills and the Dolphins got that. I'm like, weirdly enough, you would think that the Bills would be there. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Maybe because they feel like no one's going to watch the game, so everybody's going to be sleeping. I don't know what their thoughts are, but I'm excited for it because I love the night games, and whether home or away, I just love it.
It's a holiday weekend. You don't have to get up early on Monday after a Sunday game.
I know. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Yeah.
Fist bump on that. Sorry for the folks that aren't off and have to work. But hey, I'm gonna relish it because I'm off. But getting off track, like, you think this season's lost cause dumpster fire? It's just interesting to me because obviously they're a playoff team. At the end of the day, that's what they are. They're a playoff team. They're the 6 out of 7 seed in the AFC playoffs. They're one of the 14 remaining teams that are playing this extended January right now. I think there's something to celebrate. Yeah, I get it, right? There's uncertainty with Lamar, and they haven't really been stellar this year. But, dude, 10 wins, playoff team. They're going for the playoffs for the 10th time under Harbaugh's direction, I think in 15, 16 years. They've won at least, I heard the stat, I think this is their 9th time under Harbaugh. They won at least 10 or more games in a year. So something to celebrate. Yeah, 10-7 record isn't stellar, but look, they haven't had Lamar for the past month. That's a whole drama, soap opera saga in itself. You can write sitcom episodes on this one. But look, they're a playoff team, period. They line up against Cincinnati on Saturday or Sunday night. They have a chance. They're in the dance. You can call it lost cause, dumpster fire. You can put any spin, any name on it. But just like the ranch and the blue cheese debate, we agree to disagree on the call. I don't think it's a lost cause. They're a playoff team. It would be a lost cause if they somehow lost the playoff spot again, like last year after starting 8-3. This year they started 8-4, similar season. Now Lamar goes down, but the defense is back on track, playing stellar. There's a lot to unpack with that, with the new contract. And no, it's not Lamar, but it's no secret that when they traded for Roquan Smith, the defense got insanely better. They're allowing 14.7 points per game over the last 6 games. It just sucks that the offense is probably scoring about the same. But look, they're 2-3. Without Lamar, they ended the season, with 3 losses to the division. But they are a playoff team. I'm going to leave it at that. But going back, I want to rewind before we look forward to this playoff matchup because this is going to really be heavy and talk about playoffs.
Well, hold on. Let me defend myself here a little bit. I think that the reason why I'm saying this is because we've been saying it all season. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We've seen this before. This is like watching The Hangover Part 2. It's the same movie, just in a different location. Like we've seen this before.
Or Home Alone 2.
Right.
We did it again.
Yeah. This is a sequel. This is a B movie sequel. It's something we've seen before. I've seen Lamar. I'm going through my Facebook memories and the big trust year in 2019 and how pumped everybody was. This city literally was drenched in purple that first week. Everybody turned their lights on purple. Every single building downtown was drenched in purple. We were ready to go, and then it was a one and done. And then the next year, we beat the Titans. Way to go. We go to Buffalo, and then we get beat by Buffalo. Buffalo team was great. So we were like, all right, we're still a contender, though. I don't feel like this year we're a contender. Yes, we got into the playoffs. I think it's awesome. There are way more teams that are way worse off than us. You've got Arizona, you've got Atlanta, you've got Houston, you got all these teams that are making changes at head coach and doing this and doing that. And, Houston or the Chicago Bears, the number 1 draft pick, way worse teams than what the Ravens are. The Ravens have a lot of talent. However, even when Tyler Huntley came out 2 weeks ago and was like, hey, we lost this one, but we're already in the playoffs. We don't have to win this one. Well, I don't like that mentality. I want to win every game. I want to get out there and I want to be a contender. I want to be I want to be the main event. I don't want to be a mid carder. I want to be the main event.
Everybody was resting starters. Everybody, and we did it 19.
Yeah, sure.
The Cleveland team. Giants did it. Tampa did it. Like a lot of the playoff teams, quote unquote, like that's what they do. They rest their starters. It's kind of like the thing you do when you're entering the playoffs and you can't improve your position. With that said, I agree. You're right. You want your best team out there and you want momentum going in, but we don't make those decisions, and it always bothers me that they sit players. You got to play to the whistle, play all 18 games, but it's coach's decisions, and if they want to make that personal decision, who are they? But here's why I don't think this is a lost cause, and here's why I have hope, and I'm going to provide hope for you here on the call this week for some playoffs. Let's rewind back to the Bengals game, shall we? We understand Ravens lost 27-16, and it was the worst loss of the year, 11 points, right? There is a definition of insanity, and it's not all roses. Even though they don't understand they lost the game, I'm going to try to point this out the best I can. But to go back, still upset at going for it on fourth down, knocking over the iPad again as I always do. Here, I'm going to prop it up. Going for it on fourth down when you don't have the offense to do it. Stop it. Like, take the points. You realize that the Ravens don't go for it on fourth down. It was in field goal range, wasn't it? If my memory serves correctly, they were in field goal range, right?
Yeah.
You put 3 on the board when you're not – your offense isn't scoring 30 points. You do that when you know you can get it for 1 and 2, when you're just putting points up at will and scoring at will. The Ravens haven't been doing that pretty much since the really beginning of the season. Since week 3, they haven't eclipsed 30 points. They scored in the 20s 3 times in the last, 10 weeks. They scored back-to-back 27 points in Tampa Bay and New Orleans on prime time, went to a bye week. They scored, 27 points against Jacksonville, and that's it. They scored 37 or 39 points in New England. They put up 30s against they went back-to-back 30-point games, whether it was a collective offense, defense, special teams effort. The team put up 30 points back-to-back weeks in 2 and 3 and haven't snipped it since. Stop going for it on fourth down. You have one of the best kickers ever, if not the GOAT. Put it on his legs, let him do it, get the points while you can, take them. You're on the road against a divisional opponent. I don't care if you're home, road, away, neutral sites, doesn't matter. Because you look at it now. You kick the field goal there, it's an 8-point loss in Cincinnati. Yeah, it's still a loss, but it's 8, not 11. It's a 1-possession game at that point with a 2-point conversion. Hindsight 2020. That I have a problem with. Stop going for it on fourth down. I do not want to see this going into the playoff game. But the other bad thing, turnovers. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many points did the Bengals score for those turnovers? 21 of their 27 points. Disgusting, isn't it? You can't take possessions away from yourself and hand it to the other team, especially when you fumble the ball on the goal line and back into your own territory. Can't happen. Mental mistakes. Prochet going out of bounds. You look at these plays, right, Brandon? Going for it on fourth down. You see where I'm going with this. Prochet, he don't step out of bounds. It still was a great play and a great throw by Brown. He don't step out of bounds. They're on the goal line. That changes the complexity of the game. If Sammy Watkins doesn't fumble the ball, that changes the complexity of the game. They're probably going to at least score 3, if not punching him for 7. At that point, it's game on. Apart from that, 4 turnovers. Can't do it. You got to take care of the football. I don't care. Teams do not win a football game when you lose the turnover battle. It rarely happens. The Ravens have done it before, rarely. Other teams have done it. I think even Peyton Manning's Colts did it once, where he threw 6 interceptions, and I think they still won the game, I think. I don't know if they won or lost. I think it was against the Chargers. Here's how I feel comfortable, because even though it was a loss, Brandon, they held the Bengals to 3 points in the second half. So the Bengals scored all those points off turnovers, all that in the first half. They got shut out in the fourth quarter. The Bengals had something to play for, right? They were still going for a second seed.
Sure.
Obviously, they had all their starters in pretty much through the whole game. They didn't sit nobody. How about this? Despite the 4 turnovers and despite going for the fourth down, despite all the mental errors, mistakes, stepping out of bounds, the Ravens outgained the Bengals 386 to 257. How about that? Not only that, they held Joey Burrow to 202 passing yards all day. Anthony Brown threw for 276 himself, outperformed Joe. How about that?
Yeah.
Ravens outgained them on the ground 55 to 110. That's something to hang your hat on heading into this playoff matchup. I feel like if it was any other team, I probably would be with you. Like, not as far as a lost cause, but I'd be like, yeah, doom and gloom. I don't know. Like, let's say if they were the Bills or if they were the Dolphins at 7 had to travel to Buffalo. Yeah, if they were going against Buffalo and Buffalo, probably be a little scared or worried. Because it's a divisional opponent that we just played and we defensively snuffed them out. And if we didn't turn the ball over, a lot of fans after the aftermath of the game were like, man, if we didn't turn the ball over, we probably would have won that. Like, everybody wasn't like, oh my God, D-Law. Like, it was like, yo, they get this in check. We have a ball game with our backups in. They didn't have JK in. Peters didn't play. Most of the defense started. Some of the offensive people were out. I don't even think I can't remember. I don't think it's still Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely had a career day.
Yes.
So you have to feel good going into the game. That's how I'm looking at it defensively. If we even want to start the keys of the game and bleed it into the playoff game, because we're pretty much right, we're playing the same team. So really nothing to preview. We just played them. We know this division opponent. We split, home and away. We know what we're getting here. And because of this defensive stats, Roquan just got paid this week, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But how about this? Now that the season's over, Marlon Humphrey has allowed 0 touchdowns all year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roquan was playing possessed on Sunday for whatever. Everybody was like, what's Roquan mad at? Like, he was everywhere on the field, and he had, like, I don't know what it was. He was angry. You talk about angry runs. He was playing angry. Like,
He was hangry.
Like he said in the press conference, see you Sunday. Like he that just bleeds purple and black, right? That just bleeds Ravens. That's amazing, and he was well deserving. That we'll break down the contract in a little bit. But with Roquan falling out, the whole defense is healthy. I don't think anybody's out on defense. Marcus Peters is back. Calais Campbell's back. We didn't know Marcus Williams is coming back. I see you pulling out your little Twitterverse.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some.
I looked at Zarebic's tweet on the injury updates. He pretty much said everybody that was held out on Wednesday is back in practice this week, or today on Thursdays we're recording. So even Gus Edwards returned to practice today, by the way. Remember, he got hurt in that game with a concussion. And that was another thing. We even started Gus Edwards, everybody forgets, and he got knocked out of the game with an injury there. So
yeah, it looks like it's Lamar, Brandon Stevens, Nick Moore, and Tristan Colon is or Colin. They're the ones not practicing.
I like to have Stevens back in there, but it's either never there. But look, the fact remains is the Ravens are the healthiest they can be this year. We know that they're without wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 and Duvernay and Bateman, but and they're without QB1 Lamar. But I just feel good about the Ravens' chances because of their defensive unit, how they've come together the back end of the year. I don't care if you can call it cupcake schedule. I've said this time and time again, you can't apologize for your opponents. Still, they have to hold offenses down. There's still NFL teams that are out there performing. Look, the Texans put up 30-something points, and then they got 3 wins all year. The Ravens, we understand they have offensive woes, but with this defense, I feel like in any street fight, they have a fighting chance. And with how the Ravens held Burrow and that offense down on Sunday, I certainly can get on board with it. How Marlon Humphrey's been locked down all year, I can get on board with it. Stick him on Jamar Chase the whole game. And here's another key to the game that we want to discuss for this playoff game coming up. Right before the game, they were talking about how the Bengals have had a healthy offensive line all year. Mm-hmm. Joey Burrow's out without his 2 left linemen. I think the guard and attack were out. Kappa's one of them. He got hurt during the Ravens game, and he's out. So with the Bengals' depleted offensive line, the Ravens' ability to now have Ojabo back healthy, which something to celebrate. He had his first sack and a fumble. So I think I saw it on Discord. Someone was like, "Where's Ojabo?" Like, minutes later? Oh, there he is, number 90. Haha. So that was awesome to see. So you look at it with Roquan, Ojabo, Owe, the line, Calais Campbell, Justin Houston, and the gang, Patrick Queen. With that depleted offensive line, the way Marlon Humphrey's covering with no touchdowns this year, the way the defense is collectively playing, if they basically rewrite the wrongs that they did against Cincinnati last week, and they do everything right this week, I firmly believe they can pull out the victory. Yeah, it's another thing coming when you look ahead and you're like, okay, you might have to go to Arrowhead. We get that, but this is Bengals Ravens 3, and nothing, nothing, nothing that I saw last week leads me to believe that the Ravens are in trouble. I mean, yeah, still the Bengals, it's still Joe Burrow, and obviously, if you have money on line, you're probably going to lean more towards Cincinnati. Put your money on Cincinnati, but remember last year when the Bengals marched to the AFC title and went to the Super Bowl, what they do to the Ravens in the final game? Did Burrow throw for like 500 yards and like 4 or 5 touchdowns that game?
Yeah.
I know we were depleted with like 25 injuries that season, but what did he do on Sunday? Nothing. Yeah, it's easy to get 21 points off of 3 turnovers when they're gifted, especially when one of them's a defensive score, and Burrow didn't have to do anything. So, and I felt like when I saw body language, Jamar Chase was frustrated, and a lot of folks were like, "Well, was it the hangover from the Bills Monday night situation and all the hoopla because they had the coin toss and they were all mad and the AFC title game and in the records and they couldn't get the 1 seed?" I'm like, I don't know. Ask them. We don't cover the Bengals here, but maybe. I don't know if it's a hangover. I like to understand from their perspective, but they still had to come out and play, and both them and the Cowboys, respectively, are basically limping in the playoffs because the Cowboys had a trash performance as well. So you have teams that were resting the starters, and you had teams that played their starters and looked pathetic. So there's my perspective at this point, man. I want to hear what say you on all this. Do you agree with any assessments there? Are you seeing it differently here with this matchup? Are you still doom and gloom, or are you heading into, hey, it's purple playoff week and, let's get it going? Or did I talk you off the ledge yet? Or are you still sitting on that, like, hey, ho hum? And are you excited at all? Did I ruffle the feathers there? Did I get you going? Did I do my best, Ray Lewis?
You did. I am excited, and maybe my toes were like hanging over the ledge. Maybe I've backed my heels up just a little bit off that ledge. I'm still on that ledge, but there are a lot of good things to look for in this game. I mean, our defense, like you said, holding the Bengals to what they did this past Sunday is a huge deal. I mean, the fact that the Ravens were able to do that is massive because it shows how good this defense can be. And that was without all of our talent out there, but with some guys sitting, we should be at full strength on defense. But that's the thing. I don't think defense is the issue here. We just invested a lot of money in Roquan Smith. We are definitely going to be covering that in a little bit to discuss. Yeah, we have to. I mean, we have to. So we got to talk about that. But this offense is very suspect. It's I don't know who this offense is. I mean, we could potentially be going in with a third string quarterback who looked okay in his debut here in week 18, but I don't feel 100% confident that we can win a game with the third string QBs. He's no what's the guy's name? Who's Mr. Irrelevant this year? Brock from the 49ers.
Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
I got roasted. By the way, I got roasted in my group chat for bringing him up.
Hey, you know what? For my office pool, I got the 49ers going to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. That's what I think.
Who do you got him against?
Buffalo Bills.
Bills Niners. Okay.
That's my pick. But
that's
the thing.
Well, my pick. Half my pick's still in. By the way, I did preseason pick Broncos Cowboys. How'd that work out for me?
Well.
Cowboys are about to get beat by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think on Monday night is my pick, and then the Broncos didn't barely even sniff anything this year. So that was my pick. So hindsight 2020, I got a horse left in the race. One's out, but that was my preseason Super Bowl pick was Cowboys Broncos.
Okay, I mean preseason and Broncos had a lot of promise.
Anywhere, but let's revisit that. Yeah, I'm 50% in. We'll see.
Everybody thought Russell Wilson would get rejuvenated there, but I was like, come on, we saw this already. This again, another sequel. We saw them do this with Joe Flacco. It's not the same. The guy's older. It's not the same thing.
Speaking of Flacco, round of applause for not allowing the Steelers into the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
He performed so badly and didn't want to just play because I'm like, come on, Joey, do something. Because I wanted to root him hard and see. And I was actually flipping back and forth between that and the Ravens game. And then I'm like, and then with the Steelers, obviously they needed they needed Dolphins to lose and the Dolphins won. So because obviously I think the Steelers basically needed to win, had the Patriots lose, which happened obviously at the Bills' hands, and then the Dolphins will lose. And they had apparently like 3 weeks ago they had a 1% chance of making the playoffs. It was up to like 50% on Sunday, and thankfully they didn't make it. And then, of course, I'm arguing with Steeler fans, and they're like, "You're next, man. You're not going to be far behind." I'm like, "Well, the difference is we're in, you're not. So I don't care. We can be one and done, but we made it. You didn't." And then I followed it up with, "Why are you hating outside the club? You can't even get in." Yeah, but it's all good. I'm like, we might be kicked off the dance floor one and done, but hey, we're a playoff team, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, we are still getting a game here on Wild Card weekend, and it's usually my favorite weekend of the playoffs because it's brand new. Like, this is a new thing that they decided to start doing recently in the last couple of years. But the Ravens, I just like, they did car stenciling down at the stadium today. I didn't go.
Did you do it? Oh,
I didn't do it.
You're usually you're like the first in line.
I know. I love that kind of stuff.
Here. Need to like partially smack you. Like, good thing we're not like sitting in like live like next to each other, because that really might give you a nice little powerful nudge.
I know,
like,
I have failed you, sir, but I think the offense is just such a question mark. You know, I
get it. I get that.
J.K. Dobbins has looked great. It's great to have him back. Gus Edwards, like you said, he did practice today. He's in a non-contact jersey due to concussion protocol, but I guess signs point to him being able to play. We've got Tyler Huntley there. That he did not practice on Wednesday, and he's still not throwing today. So we might not even have Tyler Huntley there, but Tyler Huntley has not impressed me. I don't think he's a guy that can go in and beat Cincinnati. He can't beat the Bengals. If the offense can score points and the defense can hold up their end of the bargain, then yeah, I think the Ravens could get away with a win, but I don't have faith in this offense. And to be honest, if Lamar were to miraculously have a practice under his belt and then show up on Sunday, I doubt he could do it on Sunday because he's going to have rust and he's not going to be ready to go for a type of game like that.
I certainly agree on the fact that, like, you can't trust this offense, especially with Greg Roman leading the charge, right, in a playoff setting. I'm just saying the Ravens have a chance because of the opponent and because of their defense and what they did last week. If it was the defense giving up 400, 500 yards and then the offense can't score 14 points, yeah, we're in trouble. We're going to lose by 30. Like, enjoy it while you can. Yeah, they're a playoff team, but it's probably going to be in bed early by Sunday night at halftime, because this might be like the national championship game. But, like, look, it's a divisional opponent. The Ravens themselves are fired up. The defense is performing absolutely bonkers, and that's the only reason why they even try to even come out even with a win somehow on Sunday, is because of this defense. Now, the offense is a big question mark. The offense is very anemic. It's the definition of insanity, as you say. It's like when the running game gets going, they stop running the ball, and then Harbaugh is sitting in press conference like, yeah, you're right. Why didn't we run the ball? I'm like, you're the head coach. Why didn't we run the ball, bro? Like, hold somebody accountable for it. Like, that pisses me off anyway. So I was so mad when he did that. I was like, dude, I lost. I threw a pillow in the house and on the ground. I was like, you're the head freaking coach, and now you think it's a good idea to run Gus Edwards. Like, you think? Get a handle on something, dude. But it's just like, and with the time management, the clock management, and not using your timeouts and using your timeouts improperly, there is a lot of, I don't know what the word is, but there's a lot. I was just saying uncertainty, for lack of better words. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding that side of the ball, but it's pretty much this, but the defense. And the Ravens are known for that. Defense wins championships. I subscribe to that. And until proven otherwise, look, the Ravens with 4 turnovers and all that with Anthony Brown outgained them. Huntley's going to play because he's the more experienced quarterback. Brown's a rookie. I don't want Brown in a quarterback for 2 reasons. One, after he performed Sunday. 2, he's a rookie. Huntley's more polished and performed. You want to have 8 out there in this setting, better of the 3, the best of the 3. But the fact remains is me and you've been vocal about it since day one when he got hurt against Denver. We're not going to see him. And at least me and you were vindicated in that, because I was like, he ain't going to play. The injury. Now, whether it's this whole circus of the contract and is he hurt? Is he just holding out, unintentionally, intentionally kind of deal? I don't know, but I tell you this. Good Morning Football the last 2 days has been on fire with this story. And even Jamie Earl called out they spent 12 and a half minutes on the Lamar segment alone on the show. So,
and they normally never talk about the Ravens.
It's pretty much all I see on national media. It's about Lamar and the injury and contract. And it's, frankly, I'm exhausted. Like, look, like how Harbaugh said, I'm just here to coach the guys that are here. I'm here to root for the players that are playing on Sunday because I'm like, at this point, I could care less. It's going to work itself out one way or another. I have no control over it. Neither do you. We can have opinions about it. We can get upset or happy about it. But boy, this Lamar thing is exhausting.
Yeah, and that's why I
out over the playoff matchup because it's just like everybody wants to talk about. So, he's not playing. He's hurt. He's holding down his contract. No, I think he's really hurt. I'm like, Rays play a playoff game on Sunday. Does anybody care? That's all they care about is what Lamar's doing. I'm like, I don't care. He sprained his PCL, knee, whatever you call it, and he ain't playing. Whatever. I don't know. But it sucks. But frankly, it does suck because it just sucks.
When he decided to represent himself and he put this self-imposed deadline on to focus on the regular season and everything, I said it on one of our preseason shows. If this deal doesn't get done, there's going to be this gray cloud over this entire season, because if Lamar were to get hurt or lose a game, it's going to be like, well, they can't pay him what he wants because he's not worth it. But if he does really well, then the fans are going to be like, well, you got to pay him, pay the man. Like, it's just, this whole contract thing is just a headache, and it sucks because now you're looking at a guy like Roquan Smith, who did represent himself, got the deal done, got paid. He's the highest linebacker ever to be paid in the NFL in NFL history. He's making all this money, and you kind of got these people going like, wait, they paid him before Lamar? Oh, that means something. That's something.
You can pay both. People don't understand how salary caps work and how money works in the NFL. That's the amateur fans talking.
Yeah.
Like, because right away I seen the reaction. I'm like, people got to stop. Like, oh, that was the Lamar money. And I'm like, NFL teams or sports teams can pay more than one person. But here's what's going to happen. We'll set the record straight. Because everybody's like, oh, was that Lamar money? No, it was Roquan's money. You know what it is? They're going to sign Roquan, as my prediction was boldly proclaimed months ago when the trade happened. I said they're going to sign Roquan a long term. They're going to franchise Lamar. That's what's going to happen. And I'm going to predict what's going to happen in the offseason, fast forward through the playoffs here once we get to that point. Now that Roquan's paid and for the Ravens for the next few years, 5 years to be exact, on his deal, they're going to franchise Lamar. They're going to try to get a long-term deal done. If they can't, then he's going to have to play under the franchise tag for 1 year. They can franchise him again after that on a second year. But then after that, you got to work out something or part ways. But what I think they're going to either do is they're going to franchise him. They're going to give him an offer and say, here's your offer. Whether it's more or less than what was reportedly given before the year, I don't know. I feel like no one's really come out and confirmed that, but what is what it is. They're going to say, here's our offer, take it or leave it. And Lamar literally might just be like, I'm done. I'm going to go get money elsewhere. Hey, this would send ripple effects for months of years for a high-profile player like that. But at this point, I'm over it. It's like I look at it as a contract. You sign a contract, your contract will play to that, whether you underperform or outperform that. Because everybody's like, oh, yeah, well, a lot of players outperform the contract. What if they underperform? Do you have to get the money back? Like, right. It's like, yeah, I get it. When you outperform your current contract, yeah, of course you want more, and that's where you get the holdouts and people and all that whole side circus. But that's my point. There's a counterpoint. Well, if you don't play up to par, are you not owed the rest of your money? Maybe if we start putting it that way and withholding people's monies from them, then maybe they start playing better. But I get injuries are one thing. You can't play if you're hurt. But my point is, through this whole thing, I'm going to side with the fact that he's not doing this whole stunt and pulling it out to say, like, to stick it to the Ravens and be like, this is what life's like without me. You're going to deal with it. I truly believe he's hurt and he can't come back. Because I heard this report on one of the national shows. You saw Dak Prescott with his injury this year. Yeah, it's a different injury, and I get it. PCL sprain versus what was it, broken finger or something? I can't remember.
Right. But
he was constantly rehabbing. They're reporting and getting him back. He was trying to come back. Lamar, all you see is like 1 or 2 seconds of footage him laying on a treatment table, icing his knee or getting treatment on his knee. He's not out practicing. And some of the media reported you don't see him on any of the machines in the weight rooms. On the portion that's open to media, like you don't see him anywhere. He's not on the field on the sidelines and practice throwing footballs with the receivers, and he's not doing anything. And you can't roll Lamar, even if he miraculously was healthy. I don't think you certainly can't roll him out there in a playoff game of this magnitude with a divisional opponent, and he hasn't even practiced, and you're going to get a playoff speed. Right now, we got to root for the players that are coming and not coming here that are playing on Sunday. And Sunday night's going to be Tyler Huntley under center for the Ravens. The backfield's pretty healthy right now. I mean, we get it that when I say pretty healthy, you got J.K., you got Gus Edwards returning to a former practice, albeit I'm assuming he's going to clear concussion protocol. I mean, Huntley had it a few weeks ago and he came back the week later. But we get it. Huntley didn't really play well against the Browns. I'm trying to remember what game it was against the Browns. And then we understand Anthony Brown didn't play well against the Bengals. But, look, we talked about it. Defense wins in the end. Roquan got paid. He's going to go out there. And when the news broke with Roquan's deal, I lost my ever-loving mind. I was like, yes, this is exactly what they did to Marcus Peters, if you remember. They traded Marcus Peters in 19, and then immediately months in that same year, a month or two later, they extended him for 3 years. And obviously he's on the third year of that term. Roquan trade, all the speculation was and I had it out with some of the media, including I think RG3 on Twitter. It was like, Ravens, I don't see him retaining him, man. I think he's a good test for agency. And he even said he would get more money for agency, but the Ravens made the trade knowing that, hey, we're going to offer this guy a contract, and here it is. He is a freaking Raven. And do I need to read the stats for you about the Ray Lewis comparison? Did you see him?
Let's hear him. I want to hear him anyway. I'd like to hear him again.
Oh, I know. I knew you knew what they were. You knew what they were about. So, digging through my statistical folder here. Actually, now I got to find it. Yeah. I know I talked about it. Here it is. I found it. So, only 2 players in NFL history, not Raven history, but NFL history, have 100+ tackles, 2+ sacks, and 1+ interception in each of their first 5 seasons. Roquan Smith, Ray Lewis are the 2. You had to keep his talent. You had to keep his leadership. He is a generational player of this new era generation football. You had to keep him on the defense. The defense got significantly better statistically. They pretty much went from one of the worst defensive units starting the year. They traded Roquan, and they ranked in second in like 2 or 3 categories. And again, 14.7 points per game. I don't care who you're lining up against. I mean, yeah, they lost some games and they won some games, but, it is what it is. Take it for what it is. But they play a playoff game Sunday with this defense, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Roquan. I was so excited as well when the news came out that we signed him. I was running at the time. I was outside with Finn, going for a nice little walk run, and my phone kind of went off. It actually was our Discord that went off first for me, which I thought was hysterical. That I'm getting news from our Discord from our good friends over on our Discord, discord.gg/thecallpodcast. Make sure you like us over there. Join the conversation. Mr. Grimm, thank you so much for the news. But Roquan, I mean, I was excited. You and I we were at Jimmy's Famous Seafood, and we ran into John at Jimmy's Seafood, and he was like, what about that Roquan deal? What'd you guys think? And he just went, I'm so excited. This guy is a Raven. He was born a Raven. He should have been a Raven. Thank God he finally got here. And he's been nothing but impressive this year. He's definitely a leader here on the defense. He makes the people around him better. Just look at Patrick Queen, for an example. He makes Patrick Queen a better player. Roquan Smith is absolutely fantastic. He's a great addition to this team. I'm so happy he's here for 5 years, and it really does, like, this game on Sunday does fall on the defense's shoulders. This is going to be a defensive performance, and Roquan Smith's going to be one of the first guys out of the locker room. He's going to be a leader there. It really is. This is a great guy to have in this locker room for being on the field and off the field. Seems like a no drama type of guy. I was ecstatic with this signing.
Did you see Up and Adams with Eric Weddle still rocking with the Ravens?
I did see that. He said he's calling for a Ravens win this weekend.
Wonder if he's back in town to promote his Weddle's pancakes or purple playoff pancakes that we had.
I remember those purple playoff pancakes, man. They were good.
Am I getting you in the spirit yet? Are you all Festivus, or are you still back in the dumpster fire?
Which
you're allowed to be. No one has to be on my side. I'm just saying, like, I started the week out like that. Like, like this offense, man. I started the week out like you, and by like Tuesday, Wednesday, I turned the tide, and I'm like, you know what? It's ride or die time. We're a playoff team. I don't care. Like, they're playing with house money. Go out and beat the Bengals. Why not? If they lose, okay, whatever. Maybe they weren't supposed to be there anyway. I don't care. They win. Like I said, this isn't 2019. We had the 1 seed, and we're already looking for Super Bowl tickets. Like, no one expect them probably going to playoffs how they started the year, right? And how everything's been this year. So why not, right?
Let's do it.
I don't know. Are you feeling better? Are you feeling a little worse? Are you feeling the same?
I'm feeling good. I like this defense. I really do. It's
it made me feel good.
So what wasn't it Harbaugh? Was it Harbaugh who said why not us? Or no, that was the Orioles, wasn't it? That was the Orioles. Why not us? Back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Back to the Baltimore line of thinking. Why not us? I like that.
Why not? Like I said, I feel like again going back to the keys of the game of defense and all that. If it wasn't any other opponent, I'd probably be a little worried. But it's Cincinnati. It's a defensive team. It's a defensive team. It's a divisional team that we know well. It's a divisional team that we just played against a week earlier, and hey, they got a good chance as anybody. And the spread isn't like 20 points or something in Nashville. It's close. I think it's within the score if I remember. I think it was like 7 or 8. If I last looked at the lines. So, I mean, you like to have Lamar out there. You like to have a few of the Ravens that are missing out there, but right now, we got just got to hope for the best with the guys over here, and I really can't wait to see what happens on Sunday night. So when it comes down to it, when you're talking totality of game picks and everything else, are you confident enough to pick them to win this playoff game? Are you going with the Bengals?
I still got to say the Bengals are going to come away with a win.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, but I do think the Bengals will be coming away with a win. I think this is a good sign for the defense for the future of the Ravens. But I think that the Bengals are going to come away with a win, and I'm going to say 34-10 Bengals.
Wow, 34-10.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Hey, no, it's fine. We don't always have to pick the Ravens in every game here. And it's always not sunshine and rainbows here in the call. It's real. It's raw. It's the call. Made that rhyme.
It's raw. It's the call.
Real. It's raw. Welcome to Monday Night Call. Yeah. Yeah. Or Thursday afternoon call, whatever you want to talk about it. Yeah, I'm going to defer. I'm actually going on a limb, and I'm going to side with the hometown team here. I am picking the Ravens in this one.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, how about that? Why not? Ride or die. It's a playoff team. There's no schedule here. They don't win, they don't go home. So why not? Let's pick them every game right now.
You know what?
I'm going to pick them to win this one, but it's going to be a close score. This isn't no 34-10. The Ravens ain't even probably going to score that much anyway, but the defense, I think this is the game where I can't remember correctly, but before I give my prediction, I don't even think the defense have had a defensive score. Special teams have had return kickoffs.
Right.
I don't think the defense have scored a touchdown, have they, with a fumble and interception return? Is that true? Has the defense not scored this year?
I'm trying to think. Did Patrick Queen or Roquan, they got into the end zone, but it was called back, wasn't it?
I think one of them was when the Pittsburgh game, they Roquan intercepted, but it was in the Steelers are driving,
right?
And it was in the Ravens territory. So I for the life of me, I can't even remember if there was even a time this year the Ravens actually had a defensive score. But if my memory serves correctly, did my point is, I think they get one on Sunday night. I think somebody whether it's a pick six or a fumble, I don't care. I think a defensive score happens, and that's the deciding factor in the game. I think they did win this one. I'm going on 21-17.
21-17. All right, so why don't you and I put a little wager on this one? Why don't we? You said it's go big or go home. So if the Bengals win, you have to eat a wing with ranch while we record. If the Ravens win, I eat a wing with blue cheese.
Okay. My wing's got to be a flat then. I don't like drumsticks.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm a flat guy. I'm one of those bougie people that order all flats.
Pay that extra $1. That's what
I really don't
Mr.
care.
Moneybags.
The flats are good. The flats are good.
Why don't we do that? And, it's we'll see what happens. You down for it?
I am down for that.
All right, let's do it.
You eat some blue cheese, bro. Can't wait.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. That's going to be great. The next episode of the call and you eating a mighty good wing with that blue cheese dribbling off, you're going to love it.
The only thing bad is that there's the only Hooters is now downtown.
Before, right? Like,
I've had it before.
Like,
I've had it before. No, I gotta. Me and my dog, we both got stomachs of steel. We're good.
Okay. Boy, what have you eaten? I don't even want to know. I did eat a dog treat for $20 once.
That's gross.
I mean, I'm still alive, and it was $20.
I ate a Cluck You chicken. Was it like an atomic wing or something? I think I told the story before where you had to sign a waiver before you ate it because it's so hot.
We're going, and we'll do. Where do you want to do it? Should we go to Jimmy's and order wings and do this?
Do they do wings there? I don't think I've ever
Do
had
they?
wings at Jimmy's.
Do they? They have to.
I mean,
They
it
got-
seems like a bar food.
I
Why
eat
wouldn't
more
you?
like their steak and seafood more than anything. I'm more like the surf and turf. Then let's pull up their menu.
I had a flatbread last night.
How was that? It's good in it.
It was called Ecstasy, and that's exactly what it tasted like.
Yeah.
Shrimp and chicken. It was delicious.
Yep. I usually order that one as well.
I'm gonna look at apps and snacks on their.
Jumbo wings. They're there.
They do have okay.
Yep. Jumbo wings. We got them. They're on the menu.
All right, man. Well, you better get
Jumbo
yourself
wings
ready.
and seafood next week.
Yeah, you get your ranch ready.
Hey, I hold my end of the bargain always. We shall see, man. I can't wait.
All right. Well, hey, man, is that the show? Are we ready for this wild card game?
No, I'm ready. Super wild card weekend. Real quick, outside of the Ravens, what's your predictions for the rest of the wild card weekend? How do you see it shaking out this weekend? Take it 1 week at a time, obviously.
Yeah. Let me see.
I know Niners and Bills are your Super Bowl picks, but obviously I would think you can pick them both being the 2 seed. But who do you got going on? Obviously, we already knew the Ravens and Bengals have been settled.
All right. Yeah. So let's. I said Cincinnati. You said Baltimore. Next up, how about Miami, Buffalo? I'm saying Buffalo. What are you?
Buffalo.
Okay. Then we have L.A., Jacksonville. I'm going Jacksonville. What about you? Yeah, Jacksonville. The all-elite Jags.
It's a home game.
Then we've got New York and Minnesota. Who you going with?
This one I always wanted. I've been going back and forth. I picked the Giants. I'm going to stay consistent because I picked the Giants. I'm going to go with the Giants actually in the upset because I'm going with the Giants.
I went with the Giants as well. This is the one that took me the longest, though, to really figure out who I was going to go with. I went with Giants.
Do you know the Vikings are 13-4 and have a negative 3-point differential in the year?
Really?
Yeah.
See,
I don't understand that. That means that the team has given up more points than they scored offensively all year.
I don't trust Kirk Cousins. That's why I'm not.
13 games, and you've scored 3 points less total in the season that your defense has given up. How the heck does that even work? Worst ever, I think, in like the history of the league. It's weird. But the Giants played them a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. It was a 3-point game. And with the Vikings being so wishy-washy, I just feel like this is a Giants improbable win. I think the Giants and the Ravens as a 6 seed both win this weekend.
Yeah.
How wacky things do sometimes. I think that's what happens and shake things up a bit.
All right. How about Seattle, San Fran? I'm saying San Fran.
Easily. San Francisco.
Then we have
Miami
Dallas, Tampa Bay. I've got Tampa Bay.
Dallas and the GOAT. Who you got?
Tampa Bay. I'm going with the Bucks.
I'm also going with the Buccaneers, especially after the Cowboys played last week. Very horrible, very disgusting. And I think Tampa Tom and crew get it done and they advance.
So the only one we really defer on is Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Of course.
Jeez.
Okay. Hey, it's got to be fun, man. You can't be all boring. You can't like everything. You can't be picking the same. It's boring, man.
I know.
Plus, we got a wager on it. Even better.
Yeah.
Can't wait. But yes, totality, purple playoff preview, and everything else, what you want to call it. I think the call is complete, man. I just can't wait to get this on. Another Sunday night game. This is our third Sunday night game of the year, technically, and it's our second against the Bengals. Our first Sunday night game, your first primetime this year was the Bengals here in Baltimore, and we beat them.
I was there for that one.
So I think the Ravens hold them for another 17 points, and it's similar score. And the Ravens go out victorious, and can't wait to see it happen. But hey, we'll see how it all shakes out. Do the Ravens come out victorious, or do they not? We'd love to hear what you guys think on the call. Hit us on all the socials, however you can find us. We love to get the chatter started. And I really can't wait to see how it all shakes out. Tell us your predictions. Tell us why you think, if you think you're Simon Brandon, it's a dumpster fire and you're not as excited. Are you excited? Are you getting your car stenciled? Are you ready? Is it playoffs? But dude, every day that passes by leading up to this game, I'm now just, as I've always been now, ride or die at this point. Once the Ravens make the playoffs, all bets are off. We can criticize them all they want, but hey, I'm going with let's just run it, win it all. Why not us? Like you say, why not? And that being said, I think we covered everything. Quote the Raven Nevermore.
All right, everybody, if you'd like to continue the conversation with Josh or I, you can. It's real easy. You can go over to our Discord, discord.gg/thecallpodcast. Join our server over there, and we can have some great game day conversations, some tailgate talk, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe we'll put, when Josh has to eat the ranch and wing, we'll put that in the tailgate, or the flock feast. We'll put that picture in the flock feast. How about that? You know, and that'll be next week. So we'll see what happens. But check us out over on Discord. Check us out over on Facebook as well, facebook.com/thecallpodcast. Like us over there. Whenever a new show comes out, you'll be the first to know. And, be nice to us and rate us an Apple Podcast review, rate us over on Spotify, and be social with the show. Let people know on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Instagram and Reddit and Snapchat and Twitch and TikTok and Hive and Discord, anywhere you're social on the web or with your phone. Say, I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, I listen to The Call, and you should too. So that is it for the show this week. It's Wild Card Weekend! Welcome back, Wild Card Weekend. Josh, we're up against the Bengals. Back-to-back weeks. Take us out the way you always do.
Burrow and the Bengals. Thanks, my bro. It's been a long, crazy year. As Harbaugh said once, the days are long, but the years are short. And it's crazy. We're at the end of it. As we talked about, season finale was last week. We made the playoffs. We're recording this week. Covering this game, man. I couldn't be more proud, to have the hometown team represented in the playoffs. You have a horse in the race. Each fan can certainly reserve the right to root at their certain levels. You could be concerned, you can be frustrated, you could be mad, you could be excited, you could be ecstatic, you can be happy, you can be, anything you want to be about this matchup. But the fact remains is I'm going to choose, like I explained, obviously, time and time again, I'm going to choose to be excited and ready to go rooting this team hard. Why not us, right? Why not the Ravens? They're playing with the house money. You can argue all day long who deserves to be there, who doesn't. There's probably other teams that are probably certainly better than the Ravens have been this year, and they're not in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, you look back, whether win or lose, you can look back and say the 2022 squad still was a playoff team. And hey, you can't, just like the lottery, right? You can get mad for people winning it. You can think about the odds are stacked against you, but you can't win if you don't play. And the Ravens certainly can't go for Lombardi if you don't make it to the dance. They are a playoff representative in the AFC. I don't care if it's division, wild card, first seed, last seed. Teams have won it all over the place. Teams have won it out of the first. Teams have won it being in the last seed. So playing with house money, we've seen what happened before. Wild card teams just run through these bigger seeds and make it. Ravens have a division opponent on Sunday. It's a familiar opponent. Just played days prior. We talked about it. You know what the stats are. You know what the outcome is. We get it. Joey Burrow and the Bengals, two-time AFC North defending champions. They are also the defending AFC representative and a Super Bowl representative last year. Let's take them out. Let's take out the defending division champs. Let's take out the defending AFC champs. And let's move on to the division round and take care of more business. But until then, everybody, flock faithful, call faithful, thank you for sticking with us this far. Are you excited? Are you ready for Sunday night football in Cincinnati? Playoff party. Let's go, baby. Baltimore Ravens. How about it? Are you ready for the playoff run? Let's fly high.
This has been a production of Brando Cash Entertainment. Music by Brad Lepore and Daniel Kelly from the DBK Studio. For more information, go to brandocash.com.